Hi, my name is Ryan Levesque, and I want to welcome you to the very first session of this very special quiz funnel workshop. If you can believe it, over 25,000 people have already registered for this live week-long quiz funnel workshop that begins and kicks off right here, right now, today. So if you're just joining for the first time or you're coming right in, I want to let you know you are in the right place. This is exactly where you want to be, and we've got a lot of ground to cover, and it's going to be an amazing week together. I want to remind you that this is a live training. Yes, it's really live. It is happening right now. This is a week-long quiz funnel workshop, and this is the only time that this is happening. This is a once-a-year experience, so if you're here right now, your timing is absolutely perfect, and you do not want to miss a second of it. I want to let you know that we've got a lot of ground to cover in our time here together, and with that being said, I'd like to pull up a few things that we're going to be covering in our time together. So once again, welcome to this quiz funnel workshop live. We've got a lot of ground to cover in a short amount of time, and I want to give you a taste of what we're going to be doing and what we're going to be covering here together in our time in this workshop. We're going to be covering what is a quiz funnel exactly and what makes it different from both a traditional online quiz and a traditional online funnel. We're going to be talking about how to know if a quiz funnel is right for you based on your market, your business, and where you're at right now. We're going to cover whether you're looking to build your list and build your audience, whether you're looking to generate cheap, qualified leads, whether you're looking to get more leads into clients and customers, or if you're a complete beginner and you don't even know where to start. We're going to cover the 3 types of quiz funnels to choose from and how to decide which one is right for you. We're going to cover how to determine the quiz funnel potential for your particular niche market, the 5 biggest quiz funnel mistakes that people make when it comes to creating a quiz, and how to avoid making them yourself. And we're going to cover the 6 steps to creating, building, and launching your very own highly profitable quiz funnel from start to finish. We're also going to cover dozens of real-life examples in all sorts of different markets, including business to business, business to consumer, digital products, affiliate marketing, e-commerce, coaching, consulting, generating leads online, local small businesses, and much, much more. We're going to come up with the big idea behind your quiz, and I'm even going to take you inside the creation of an actual quiz funnel step by step, and much, much more. Now, before we dive right in, there are a few important announcements that I want to make sure I share with you to get the most out of this experience. So I recommend, number 1, watching this training on either a laptop or a tablet so you can get the most out of this experience. And the reason for that is because we're going to be going through live exercises together, where I'm going to be encouraging you to participate live and leave your answers and your comments inside the comment thread that's on this page. So that's number 1. Number 2, there are some resources that you absolutely want to make sure that you have downloaded to get the most out of this experience. And one of those resources is right here on this page at quizfunnel.com, which is a PDF download that's going to be kicking things off today. Now, before we dive right in to kind of test the waters and see kind of how we're doing right now, what I'd like to begin is by asking you a question. And I'd like to invite you to head on over to that page, head on over to the comment thread, and leave a comment with this answer. And that answer is, what market are you in right now? Let's begin by sharing your niche, your market. What business are you in right now? And if you don't have a market, you don't have a niche, you can just say, I'm a beginner. I'm still trying to figure that out. I just want to kind of take the temperature, and this is an easy softball question to kind of get the ball rolling and to kind of get a sense for who we are, where we're coming from, knowing that we're all coming from different markets, different levels of experience, different niches. So let's go ahead and begin by leaving a comment on this page and letting me know, what market are you in right now? And as I hit refresh on my screen in front of me right now, just to kind of get a sense of where we're at. We've got a lot of great comments already. I love this. 1,000 comments already. This is amazing. Organic gardening. I love this. In the coaching market, this is really exciting. Travel, medical billing, total beginner, DIY for women, interview prep, affiliate marketing. This is exciting, guys. Streetwear, short-term vacation rentals, songwriting, healing, health market, coaching business, international corporate events. This is exciting. I love this. Look at all these, like novelist, self-publishing, real estate, school speaker, first aid trainer, serve women physicians. Like, look at this. Isn't this cool? Like how many different markets that we have? Now, what's amazing about this community that we're building right here is that there are so many people that might be in your corner of the world, so many people who might be in your niche or your market, and this is just the beginning. So if you haven't already joined us, make sure that you join us at the link quizfunnel.com, and we've got a lot of ground that we're going to be covering. Now, I mentioned that there's going to be tons of opportunity for engagement, for participating, for answering questions, for joining in the live exercises live. And one of the things I love to do is to add a little bit of extra incentive, and that involves prizes. Now, these prizes are some fun prizes that you have the opportunity to win when you participate. And the rules are very simple. The more you participate, the better the chance you have to win. And you have to be here live in order to be eligible to win one of these prizes. So it's just an extra added incentive to be here live, to show up, to reward you, because I know some of you are watching this in the middle of the night right now, early morning, middle of the day. You've made arrangements with your family, with your kids, with your work to be here so you could focus and get the most out of this experience. And I just want to take a moment to acknowledge you and reward you for being here. So we got some fun prizes that will be given out over the course of this week as well. Next thing that I want to make sure that you are aware of is that each day I'm going to be going live this week. Every day this week, I'm going to be going live. And this live time is happening right now, which is 3 p.m. U.S. Central Time. And the reason why we start with U.S. Central Time is that's where we're located. That's where I'm located in the world, which is 4 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. U.S. Pacific Time, 2 p.m. U.S. Mountain Time, and you'll want to do the translation for how that converts to your time zone that you're in right now. So same time, same channel each day. Now, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday this week, I'm going to be doing live training sessions right here on this page. The days in between, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I'm going to be hosting live Q&A calls. These are bonus Q&A calls that are going to be hosted inside the private Facebook group. Now, I know some of you are saying, wait, what? There's a private Facebook group? Yes. If you haven't already joined the private Facebook group, you want to make sure that you head on over there, and we've got a special link for you to find it and make it super easy. And that link is quizfunnel.com/Facebook. When you go to that link, you want to open it up in a new tab and ask to join the group if you haven't already done so. We have over 14,000 people already in the group who have just joined in the last few days. So you want to head on over to that group. That's where all the conversation is taking place in between sessions. I've got bonus training and bonus sessions that's happening only inside the group, including those bonus Q&A sessions where you're going to have an opportunity to get your questions answered by me. Those are happening inside the private Facebook group, so make sure that you head on over and get access to that group. For those of you who are already in the Facebook group, again, fun little test. In the comments on this page, let me know if you're in the Facebook group by typing the word Facebook. If you're in, let me know. Use the word Facebook, type it in. I want to get a sense for how many of us are in the group, how many of us still need to get in the group. So if you're already in or you just joined, type in the word Facebook in the comments in the thread that we've got on this page. And I'd love to get a sense for how many of us are already here. Okay, exciting. Awesome. Good, good, good. Good, good, good. All right, so you can just type in the word Facebook if you're already in. Love it. Dave is there. Jerica is there. Great. Awesome, awesome. So that's the first thing you want to make sure you do. Second thing that you want to make sure you do, if you haven't already done so, is to sign up to be part of my secret text message thread. That's right. I've got a secret text thread that I've been running for the last few days and the last week or so. And every single day, I am sharing some extra secret goodies and bonuses. And one of the things that you get access to when you join this secret text thread is my list of 101 profitable quiz ideas. Now, this resource is invaluable. It's going to be something that we're going to be using in our next session in this training. So if you haven't already done so, go ahead and go to that link to sign up, which is quizfunnel.com/text. That will add you to my secret text thread. If you're outside the United States, just type in your country code on that page with your phone number, and we'll be able to get you added to that secret text thread. And like I said, extra goodies, secret surprises. One of the things you get access to is my notes, my personal private notes from each day's session. So that alone is worth just signing up for. Plus, we'll also alert you when the live sessions are happening. So if you sleep in, or you forget to set your alarm clock, or you lose track of time, we'll send you a text message before each live training session is about to happen, so you don't miss a single session. So that's quizfunnel.com/text. If you've joined that, let me know in the comments by typing in the word text, T-E-X-T. Let me know if you're already there. And the last and final thing that I want to mention before we dive right in is on this page, there is your first resource. On this page, if in fact, if we take a look 1 second at what this page looks like here, it's going to look a little something like this on my, actually, let me do like this. It's going to look like, let me hit the refresh button. So we get a current view of what we are all seeing right now. If I hit refresh, it takes a second to go live. All right, you're going to see a screen that looks a little something like this. And below this video, you'll see here this big orange button that says Download Now. I'm going to make that nice and big. Download Now. It may look like this. It may look like this. You want to find that button, click that button, and download this resource, because we're going to be using this resource as part of our training here today. So make sure you head on over and download that to get the most out of this experience. It is the Personalization Phenomenon 19 proven quiz funnel templates that we're going to be using here today. And once you've downloaded that, in the comments, let me know that you've gotten it by typing the words "got it," G-O-T-I-T. And I think that covers our housekeeping. I think that covers all of our important announcements. So if you're ready, I'm ready to get started. Now, before we dive right in, I wanted to start by sharing a short video clip to get you excited about the power of what we're going to be covering over the next few days together, and the promise and opportunity that this represents for you and your business. So with that being said, let's check it out.
I have had almost 10,000 moms go through a quiz that has led them to a webinar that currently converts at 16%, you guys.
So we're seeing a 2.5x ROI. We're seeing about 17-cent opt-ins.
Whoa, time out. So you're getting email opt-ins, email subscribers for 17 cents.
Yeah, it varies. Pre-Ryan, I was excited about $6 opt-ins.
As of right now, I'm over $18,000 in recurring revenue in my business.
We implemented just the quiz portion of the Ask method, guys, 60 days ago. And we've done $752,000 in sales.
So I have this funnel at the moment where I invest €1.5 and getting €7 back.
This is just a proof of concept quiz. Like, do quizzes even work? Like, I don't know. Like, let's give it a shot and see what happens.
We generated 19,066 leads.
These are email subscribers, right?
Yes, email subscribers.
And then in total?
And then in total, we did 42,281.
Not only does the quiz funnel work, but you also really understand your customer.
I gathered my first 10,000 plus leads in Bucket in less than 8 months.
We've generated 3,781,714 opt-ins since implementing our Ask funnel. And this has been working for us day in and day out, effectively unchanged since we launched this funnel with the help of Ryan Levesque.
20 leads a day to 233 leads a day.
You can see last year in single month, I had $13,000 in sales in January, grew to $148,000 in sales by October. You can see right at the bottom corner left, what it comes down to is that last month, April 2018, I made over $250,000. So what I'm about to share with you works. And just a few months later, I'd grown the business to the point where I was able to call him up and say, Dad, you can quit your job. You don't have to worry about money anymore. And it was an awesome thing to be able to do.
We are now switching our entire homepage experience over to the quiz funnel because this is absolutely killing it.
So yes, it's getting us lower opt-ins where we're actually adding more value to people who want what I have, right? And to me, it's a no-brainer. And I wish I would have done it sooner.
So the question is this: what do every single one of those entrepreneurs all have in common? Well, the one thing that they all have in common is that they're all using a quiz funnel in their business. In fact, whether your goal is to have more freedom, to have more financial freedom, more time freedom, whether you're looking to become your own boss, maybe start your own business, or your goal is to make a bigger impact, to reach more people and to spread your mission, or your goal is to leave a legacy, maybe to your children, to your grandchildren, or simply leave the world a better place, the thing that every single one of these entrepreneurs have in common is that they're all using a quiz funnel to achieve their goals. Now, the world has changed. In the last few years, and even the last few months, the world has changed tremendously. The world is a different place today than it was even just a few short years ago. And the online world has changed. And the way people buy products and services online has changed as well. And it's changed in large part due to something that experts are calling the personalization phenomenon. So what is that exactly? Well, let's take a look. You have industries left and right around the world that are being disrupted by upstart companies in all sorts of corners of the world. So check it out. When we look at the personalization phenomenon here, we have in the eyeglasses industry, one of the oldest, longest standing industries in the world, an upstart company called Warby Parker that just a few short years ago came out of nowhere to generate over $320 million a year in sales. How are they doing it? They're doing it on the back of a quiz funnel. We take a look at the insurance industry, one of the oldest industries in the world, one of the most least innovative, longest standing industries in the world. And we have a upstart health insurance company called Health IQ that came out of nowhere to be valued at over $450 million. And the secret? On the back of a quiz funnel. We have companies in the mattress space like Sleep Number that use a quiz to figure out what sleep number, what mattress is right for you. Virtually out of nowhere, grew from nothing to over $975 million a year on the back of a quiz funnel. And we have companies like Stitch Fix, which is a personal fashion company to figure out what style is right for you. And you can see here, out of nowhere, Stitch Fix now generates $1.6 billion a year in sales, eclipsing, dwarfing traditional fashion retailers that they've now taken over in this industry. So what's the secret? What do they all have in common? Well, the commonality between every single one of these businesses is that they're all using a quiz funnel to get these results. So the question you might be asking is, what is a quiz funnel? Well, in order to understand what a quiz funnel is exactly, we need to begin by first talking about what is a funnel. So check it out. The way we define a funnel is as follows. If we look at my screen here, you'll see what is a funnel. A funnel is a series of steps that you ask someone to take online to go from not knowing who you are, in this case here, not knowing who you are. Whoops. Try that again. Not knowing who you are to becoming a paying customer. Now, that's a funnel in the most traditional sense of the word. You ask someone to take a series of steps to go from not knowing who you are online to becoming a paying customer. Now, what's the difference between a funnel we have here versus a quiz funnel? Now, let's take a look at a quiz funnel. So a quiz funnel is one where you take people through a series of steps that begins by asking a series of questions when someone first lands on your website to send them to the best product, the best offer, the best message, the best resource for them based on their situation. So we're taking people through the process of asking a series of questions when they first land on your website to understand a little bit more about them before we begin trying to sell. Does that make sense? So far with me, all clear on the difference between a funnel and a quiz funnel, a traditional funnel versus what we're talking about here today, a quiz funnel? Well, let's take a look at a few examples to understand what a quiz funnel is exactly. Now, if we come to me, a quiz funnel is not a quiz. It's also not a funnel. A quiz funnel is as if an online quiz and a funnel got married together and they had a baby. Now, a quiz funnel is not one of those time-wasting quizzes that you may have taken online. It's not a survey. It's not a questionnaire. It's not a quiz. It's also not a traditional funnel. It's a hybrid of the two. It's a very specific format that we're going to be talking about and uncovering and going through the nuances around what makes a quiz funnel different and what makes it so effective. But before we do that, I think it would be helpful to see a few quiz funnels in action. So check it out. Here's an example of what a quiz funnel looks like. This is a quiz funnel in the golf space, what we call the Swing Killers quiz. And it's a quiz that was created by a few entrepreneurs who started a little business called Revolution Golf. Now, in this funnel, the process looks like this. People first get to a page that looks like this with a video by a man by a professional golfer who says basically the following. Hi, my name is Jim, and I've been working with golfers for the last 25 years, and what I've found is that every golfer, from the rank beginner to the seasoned tour pro, all suffers from one of what we call 10 swing killers. Mistakes that people make when they swing the golf club that absolutely hurt their ability to hit with distance, with power, and with consistency time and time again. Now, the amazing thing is I can also identify what your number one swing killer is in under 60 seconds, and the best part is you can do it from the comfort of your home. All you need to do is click the button below, answer a few simple questions, and I'll see you on the other side with not only what your number one swing killer is, but also how to fix it. So we get to a page that looks like this on my screen, and you can see here a landing page that takes people through a series of questions to diagnose their number one swing killer, followed by an offer for their paid product. I'll give you another example in action. This one here is in the online course space created by an entrepreneur by the name of Amy Porterfield. So Amy helps entrepreneurs build online courses, and with my help, created an online course type quiz funnel. In this case, you can see here what type of online course is right for you. In this case here, Amy has a video where she takes people through a process to identify what type of online course is right for you by asking a series of questions and then prescribing the right course based on your unique set of circumstances. Should you create a starter course or a signature course? I'll give you another example. Now, for some of you, you may have actually taken a quiz funnel to arrive here at this workshop. So take a look at my screen now. This is a quiz funnel to figure out what type of funnel is right for you and your business at takethefunnelquiz.com. You can see here by clicking this button, you're then greeted by a series of questions to help identify what type of funnel is right for you and your business. So out of curiosity, for those of you who are watching this live right now in the comments thread, let me know if you've taken this quiz. if you've taken the time to take this quiz by, in the comment thread, just type the word quiz to let me know that you've taken this quiz. I want to get a kind of feel for how many of us have taken this. By the way, in the last 72 hours alone, in the last 3 days, almost 20,000 people have taken this quiz. So almost 20,000 people have taken this quiz in the last 72 hours alone. And by the way, if you have not yet taken this quiz, you can do so yourself to see an actual quiz funnel in action by going to the link takethefunnelquiz.com. That's takethefunnelquiz.com. You can take this quiz yourself and find out what type of funnel is right for you. So I'm looking at the comments here to kind of get a sense for how many of us here have taken the quiz. A whole bunch of us have taken this, from Carrie and John and Zhao and Julia and Freddie and Gregory. I love this. And Lisa and Charlene and Karsten. So many of us has taken this quiz already. So very good stuff. And it's great to see examples like this in action to help get ideas and inspiration and motivation and actual sort of tactical best practices for implementing a quiz funnel in your business. So we've talked a little bit about what a quiz funnel is, but the question that you might be asking yourself, or at least you should be asking yourself, is why quiz funnels? Like, what's the reason why? Well, let's take a look here. So why quiz funnels? When it comes to quiz funnels, there are 5, put this in this color here. There are 5 reasons why a quiz funnel makes a lot of sense for most people. And we're going to cover each of these reasons one by one. So go through our list. 2, 3, 4, 5. Beginning with reason number 1. Reason number 1 why a quiz makes a lot of sense for a lot of people has to do with this: incredibly cheap leads. Incredibly cheap leads. Now, what do I mean by that exactly? Well, if we head on over to our slides here, incredibly cheap leads. Oftentimes, you can cut your cost per lead down to 1/3 to 1/10 the cost. 1/3 to 1/10 the cost. And I'll give you an example of this. So this is Maston Kipp. And he, before using a quiz funnel, was spending $6 to acquire a lead online, switches to a quiz funnel, and now he's paying less than 76 cents per lead. I'll give you another example. This is Sean Penrod. Sean is in the marathon running market. Sean switched to using a quiz funnel for his business, and he went from $2.59 a lead to less than 23 cents per lead using what we're going to be covering here in this workshop. This is Beryl Young. Beryl is in the photography market. She went from $1.67 a lead to less than 14 cents per lead on the back of a quiz. So the first big reason, as we alluded to here, is incredibly cheap leads. And you can often save, let's get to this color here. You can often do this. There we go. Save anywhere from 30 to 90% or more on your cost to acquire leads and customers. Now, the question everybody always wants to ask when we talk about cheap leads is, Ryan, but do these leads convert? Do they transform into customers, yes or no? Well, that takes us to our next big reason why, which is incredibly high conversion rate. Now, when I say conversion rate, what I'm talking about here is sales conversion rate. So actual sales conversion rate, converting quiz takers into paying customers. So incredibly high conversion rate. Now, oftentimes, you're able to increase your sales conversion rate anywhere from 2 to 3x. And the reason for that is because you're able to customize your copy and your offer. After someone takes a quiz, you can customize the message you put in front of them. You can customize your sales video. You can customize the examples, the case studies, the testimonials that you put in front of someone. And this often allows you and enables you to go from anywhere from 2 to 3x your sales conversion rate on the back of a quiz. And I'll share an example of this in action. This is a company called Snack Nation. It's an e-commerce company, and they send a box of curated snacks sent to your doorstep every single week. And they were using a traditional e-commerce funnel, and they decided to test a quiz funnel against it. So they ran a split test for 3 months and tested a quiz funnel against their traditional funnel. And as a result, they were able to triple their revenue. They literally tripled their revenue overnight. And as a result, they landed on the Inc. 500 list of the fastest growing companies in America, generating over $24 million a year on the back of a quiz funnel. So incredibly high conversion. And again, you can often increase your conversion by 2 to 3x or more. And that takes us to the third big reason, which is incredibly high volume. What do I mean by that exactly? Well, when we say volume, what we mean is that quizzes are arguably the single most effective way to grow your audience, to build a list, to build an email list, to build a community, to build a following, no matter where you are, even if you're starting completely from scratch. In fact, you can often grow your audience by anywhere from 10 to 80 times or more on the back of a quiz funnel. So check it out. Incredibly high volume. In fact, as I mentioned here, this is a couple, Luis Carlos and his wife Gabby. They are in the parenting market. And when I share these numbers with you, it's going to almost sound like I'm making these numbers up, but I'm actually understating them, as you'll see here on my screen. In less than 10 days, they launched a quiz funnel, and in less than 10 days, they generated over 1,018,000 opt-ins in under 2 weeks. 1 million email subscribers in less than 10 days. Guys, less than 10 days. Incredible, right? And what's crazy is that they only spent 26 cents per lead at a 4x ROI. They made 4 times their investment on those leads, generating over $1 million in less than a month on the back of a brand new, starting from scratch, quiz funnel. Now that takes us to reason number 4 why quizzes are so powerful and why they're worth considering. And that is incredibly valuable data. And data is the word, not date. Data, and that's a D, not a P, if you can read my writing. Incredibly valuable data. Now, what do I mean by that exactly? Well, if you think about the most valuable companies of our generation, if you think about companies like Google and companies like Facebook and companies like Amazon, one of the things that they all have in common is they know everything about us, right? Like Facebook knows everything, Google knows everything, Amazon knows everything. In other words, they have access to incredible amounts of data. And it's one of the reasons why these companies are so incredibly valuable. So the question is, how can small entrepreneurs like you and me, how do we compete against these big companies? Well, one of the ways that we can compete is by using the power of a quiz funnel. To not just know the names and emails of our audience, but to know all the data that we want to have access to in that particular niche. And so what I'll share with you now is an example how you can see that when you use a quiz funnel, you can actually increase the value of your company by 100x or more. In other words, a quiz funnel becomes an asset that you have built for your business. It's an asset that if someday down the road, whether now or someday in the future, you've ever thought, maybe I might want to sell my company, it's an asset that makes your company something that you can sell. And I'll show you a few examples of this in action. So incredibly valuable data. It's an incredibly valuable asset that can increase the value of your business by over 100x or more. I shared with you a moment ago an upstart insurance company valued at over $450 million on the back of a quiz. Well, I want to share with you a few examples of other entrepreneurs just like you and me who went through training similar to this right now, who are able to capitalize on this trend. So I mentioned a moment ago a quiz started by 3 guys who built a company called Revolution Golf. Started by 3 golf buddies who launched a quiz funnel, what type of swing killer what's your number one swing killer, and on the back of this quiz funnel built an audience of over 2.1 million people. Well, one day they get a call from a little company called NBC, and NBC reaches out to them and says, hey, we're starting this new joint venture with the Golf Channel, and we're looking to grow our online audience very quickly. And we know that you have this assessment. We know that you've built this massive audience of golfers. And our question to you is, would you be possibly interested or open to maybe selling your company to us? And the three guys who started Revolution Golf said, well, okay, we'll listen to an offer. Now get this. NBC made an offer to buy their company for over $20 million, all on the back of this quiz funnel. I'll give you another example for those of you who are in a B2B market. Another company, this one here started by an ex-MBNA employee, so a guy that used to work for a credit card company, came to me, wanted help launching a quiz funnel. On the back of his quiz funnel, he built a list of 20,000 customers who are small business owners looking to get access to business funding. We called the assessment Loan Builder. And one day he gets a call from a tiny little company that you may have heard of called PayPal. PayPal makes an offer to buy his company for, get this, over $183 million. Now, why is it that companies like NBC and PayPal reaching out to small business owners like you and me to buy these companies? Because they recognize that the value of the data that you're gathering, not just knowing a person's name and email, but knowing, for example, if you're in the golf market, knowing if a golfer is left-handed or right-handed, knowing that golfer's driving distance, knowing how often that golfer plays, knowing what equipment that golfer uses, knowing the biggest challenges that golfer runs into, and so on and so forth. Having access to that data is incredibly valuable and creates an asset for you and your business. So that's reason number 4. But reason number 5 is arguably the most important, and it's this. A quiz funnel is a strategy that not only helps you better sell, but also better serve. What I mean by that is this. It's a strategy that is win-win. It's a strategy that when you go to bed at night and your head hits the pillow, you can feel really good about the work that you're doing. It's one of the few strategies that not only you win, sure, you're able to cut your cost per lead by 90%, increase your sales conversion rate by 2 to 3x, grow your business, grow your audience by 10 to 50x or more. Sure, all of that's great, you win, but even more important than that, your customer wins, because you're able to not only better sell, but better serve that audience as well. And the reason why you're able to do that is because you're connecting people with the best resource for them, the best piece of content for them, the best product for them, the best next step for them. And the reason is people are living in a world where they're seeing virtual billboard after billboard. Buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. And what you're doing is you become a breath of fresh air. And you say, time out a second. I don't know if I can help you. But if you sit down with me and take a moment to answer a few simple questions, based on that information and knowing a little bit more about you, what your challenges are, where you are right now, what your priorities are, and what's important, I can recommend the best next step for you. Do you see how that's such a breath of fresh air? Do you see how that enables you to not only better sell, but ultimately better serve your market as well? So it's one of the few strategies that you can feel really good about executing in your business, knowing that it's not only helping you, but it's helping your market at the absolute highest level. So 5 big reasons why quizzes work so well. Simply put, there's no better way to get qualified leads, get more paying clients, to build your list or audience, even if you are a complete beginner and you're starting completely from scratch. In fact, this is exactly how I got started myself when I was starting my first business. In fact, it all started like this. See, I grew up working class, and you can see here is my dad worked nights my entire life growing up. He was a shipping clerk who loaded boxes on the back of a truck. my mom cut hair in the basement of our house to earn extra money. And I'm the first in my family to go to college. And in college, I studied neuroscience at the Ivy League level at Brown University. And it was there that I met my incredible, amazing wife. This is a photo of us here back in college. After college, I worked in New York City and later in China, traveling around China, opening up offices for the company that I was working for. Until one day in 2008, the world financial crisis hit. It hit in 2008, and I was faced with a decision. I walked into my office one day and found out that the company I was working for was about to go out of business. Much like many of us have faced hard economic times here in the environment that we're in right now, I was faced with a decision where I was not going to have a job, and I used that as my reason why, as my reason to do it now. To do something that I'd had in the back of my mind, something I'd been wanting to do for years and years and years, and that was to leave my job and start my first business. Now, when I left my job and started my first business, my big goal was to someday maybe make $10,000 a month. I said, if I could make $10,000 a month, that's all I would ever want for the rest of my life. Well, I left my job and proceeded to enter 23 different weird niche markets. And I'm talking all sorts of different markets. Markets like the Scrabble jewelry market, the orchid care market, the memory training market, markets like water filtration, satellite TV, fish oil supplements, flea removal, violet care, and the list goes on and on. And the secret, the strategy I used in market after market, the one thing that worked after trying dozens of different techniques, all came down to this: quiz funnels. In fact, on the back of this one strategy, I went from making $370 in my very first month in business to over $24,000 a month in less than 18 months. Within a year and a half later, I was making $117,000 a month, building businesses with over 78,000 people, 103,000 people, 260,000 people, 30,000 people, 535,000 people, 116,000 people. In fact, across every single one of these 23 markets, I built an email list of over 4.1 million email subscribers. Now, when I started doing this, I started getting the attention of other businesses who wanted help implementing the same strategy in their business. They wanted to know, Ryan, what's the secret? How do you do this? So I started building quiz funnels for other companies. Companies like Mead, ACO, the parent company for Mead and Trapper Keeper and At a Glance Planners. Companies like Proactive, one of the biggest skincare companies in the world, started reaching out to me, and I charged something called the 55-5 model, and it looked like this. I would charge anywhere from $15,000 to $50,000 up front, and then a $5,000 a month retainer to get access to an hour of my time, plus a 5% royalty on gross sales. Now, the royalty was what was so interesting, because the success of these quiz funnels became so big, I'd have royalty payments that would generate anywhere from a few $1,000s a month, in some cases, to, in other cases, tens of thousands of dollars a month. In fact, at my peak, I was making over $1 million a year as a solo employee with no employees on my team, just my wife and I working together, all through retainer, upfront, and royalties, doing quiz funnels for other people. So for those of you watching this right now wondering, is this something that you can do for other people? Is there an opportunity to do that? And the answer is absolutely yes. Now from there, after doing quiz funnels for other companies, it then led me to create an Inc. 500 education company, a company that you can see here called the Ask Method Company. The Ask Method Company is a company that landed 3 times on the Inc. 500 list of the fastest growing companies in America at 2017, 2018, 2019, including the number 7 fastest growing company in Austin, Texas, the number 50 fastest growing education company in all of America. And from there, I co-founded a software technology company called New Edge Solutions, which is an AI-driven quiz funnel technology that's now used by over 30 million people worldwide with over 200 million data points annually. In just the last few years alone, I've made over $32 million using the strategy that we're going to be covering here today, and over $1 million a month right now. Now, how does that break down? Well, check it out. You can see here digital information product sales over $371,000 a month. Affiliate marketing, selling other companies' products, $149,000 a month. High-ticket clients for coaching and consulting, $385,000 a month using what we're going to be covering. E-commerce product sales, over $109,000 a month. Software subscriptions and memberships, $129,000 a month. In fact, my story's been featured in all sorts of national media, from the Wall Street Journal, Harvard Business Review, Entrepreneur Magazine, Inc., Forbes, LA Times, USA Today, on NBC News, on Fox Business News, and more. But just a few short years ago, it was just me and my wife with the dream, wanting to start a business, wanting to create a better life for our kids, for our future family. And I'm happy to say that nearly 20 years later, we're still here together. We've got a beautiful family that we've been able to start together, build a company that now employs people around the world in all sorts of different countries around the world, contribute to causes that we believe in. But more important than my story is the story of real people, other people like you and me who are using this exact strategy right now to transform their life forever. For example, for those of you selling information products, you sell digital courses or membership, I want to introduce you to Charlie Wallace. So Charlie, you can see Charlie right here, is in the guitar market, and he was struggling in his business. And using a quiz funnel, he grew his business to over $2.2 million a year on the back of this strategy. As a result, he landed on the entrepreneur list of the top 10 entrepreneurs under the age of 30. And get this, in the guitar market, the reason why he started his business was to pursue his passion of playing the guitar. He was able to launch his debut record, an album that landed at number 12 on the Billboard charts. And entrepreneurs like Buck Risby and Dr. Steve Siskin, this is Buck right here. Buck launched a little company called Real Dose Nutrition and created something called the Weight Loss Type Quiz. On the back of this quiz, which we're going to be talking about in a little bit more detail through this training, he generates over $12 million a year, over $7,000 a day using this quiz. I mentioned Snack Nation. For those of you in the e-commerce business, or if you're in a B2B space, this is Andy Mackinson and his family. You can see Andy, using this quiz funnel, generates over $24 million a year, 3x'd his revenue on the back of this strategy. For those of you who do affiliate marketing, this is the Metabolic Killers quiz by Jeff Radich and Mark Stockman. You can see Jeff and Mark here. And get this, on the back of just this one quiz, they generate over $1.55 million a month, as much as 100,000 leads per day. That's per day. Imagine getting 100,000 people to opt into your email list in a single day. For those of you who sell through webinars, this is Michael Hyatt's quiz, the Platform Assessment Quiz, which Michael uses to drive people to his webinar. On the back of this assessment, he generates over $203,000 a month, over 12,000 leads per month, a 61% opt-in rate. I mentioned Amy Porterfield's quiz. For anybody here who's looking to drive leads for an upcoming launch, Amy, using the strategy, had her single most successful launch ever, generating over $5 million on the back of this quiz. And if you're a total beginner, I'll introduce you to Jamal. Jamal Miller created a quiz called Why Are You Still Single? Jamal was making $17 an hour working at a nonprofit. And he wanted to get his business off the ground, watching a training just like this. His wife is pregnant at home. He knows he's going to be a new father. He's hustling, he's working, he's pushing to get it going. He launches a quiz with my help. Generates over 10,000 new leads in less than 14 days, has nothing to sell these leads, says, what do I do next? Launched a product that generates $22,000 a month in recurring revenue. He quits his job working the nonprofit, is able to go all in as an entrepreneur, and now makes over $500,000 a year in his business. Now, if you're a total beginner, I'll introduce you to Neil Gordon. Neil Gordon launched something called the Public Speaker Type Quiz. Now, what's crazy is that 2 years ago, Neil was driving for Lyft. Guys, he was driving for Lyft, hustling, trying to get it going part-time, watching training like this. My help now makes $100,000 a month, had his first six-figure month earlier this year. Now, my question for you is this. What is your number? What's your number? You know what I'm talking about. What's your monthly number? What's the number that you're looking to make in your business that would change everything for you? Is your number $100,000 a month, like it was for Neil Gordon? Is your number $10,000 a month, like it was for me when I first got started? Or is your number $1,000 a month, just looking to make a little bit of extra income to help out at home, or maybe build your business on the side? Do me a favor. I want to invite you, I want to encourage you in the comment thread on this page to type in your number, whatever it may be, whether it's $1,000 a month, $5,000 a month, $10,000, $25,000, $100,000 a month, $1 million a month. What's your monthly number that would change everything for you? What are you shooting for? What's your number? Post it in the comments. I want to take a look at the numbers that we've got here. I want to take a moment to take a sip of water and see all the amazing work that we're doing here right now. Great. I love this. $250,000 a year, $10,000 a month, $10K a month, $3,000 a month, 10,000 euros is a dream, $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, 10K a month. I love it. I love it. This is great. 10K, $50,000 a month. Love this. 10 to 20K, 20K a month, $15,000 a month, 100K a month. I love it. I love it. I love it. And it doesn't matter what your number is. That's a personal number for you, whether that number is an extra $1,000 a month or an extra $1 million a month. What's incredible is the strategy that we're using and that we're talking about and that we're going to be covering in detail over the next week together is a strategy that you can use, whether you're just getting started, looking to make your first dollar online, or if you're looking to go from 6 to 7 figures and beyond. Now, up until this point, we've talked a little bit about what a quiz funnel is. We've even talked a little bit about why you should consider building one. But what I'd like to do now is I'd like to talk about why quiz funnels work so well. So why do quiz funnels work? And what I'd like to do now is to begin by introducing 3 reasons why quiz funnels work so well. And it has to do with something that we call the 3 psychological forces. Okay, the 3 psychological forces. And we're going to be covering what these are. Now, you have to remember, I am a little bit of a geek for this stuff. If you remember, I studied neuroscience at the Ivy League level. I even taught a section of Neuro 1 for 2 years, the Introduction to Neuroscience at Brown. So I am a geek about sort of the psychology and the underlying neuroscience behind why things work. So we're going to get into some of the psychology around why quiz funnels are so effective. So if you're like me, you might be interested in some of this as well. So 3 forces that we're going to be talking about. Force number 1, force number 2, and force number 3. Cool. 3 forces. So if you're taking notes at home, this is something that you want to take notes on yourself as well. Let's tidy this up just a little bit. Stickler for keeping my notes nice and clean. Cool. Beginning with force number 1. So force number 1 is something that we call the power of self-discovery. So what does that refer to exactly? Well, it refers to this. It does not matter what market you are in. It doesn't matter if you help people improve their golf game, if you help people buy a backpack, if you teach people what type of online course is right for you, if you're in the golf market, the tennis market, the guitar market, if you're in a business-to-business market and you help companies become more effective with their teams and interpersonal communication, it doesn't matter what you sell. The thing that people care more about than anything else, irrespective of your market, is this. Me, myself, and I. As the adage goes, tell me more about me. Tell me more about me. Now, it's a power. It's a power that's so. It's a phenomenon that's so powerful that it's one that we can tap into using a quiz funnel, because a good quiz funnel offers the promise of discovering something about yourself, the promise of learning something about yourself by taking the quiz, the promise of self-discovery. Now, we'll talk a little bit about why this power is so irresistible, with the curiosity that it creates in people's brains to find out what their type is. But before we do that, I want to play a little game and do a little exercise here. My question for you is this. Have you ever taken one of those personality tests before to learn a little bit more about who you are? Have you ever taken one of those tests? We'll play a fun little game, and I'm going to name a bunch of different tests, and these are just a few of them. And in the comment thread, if you've taken at least one of these tests, I'd love to have you type in the number 1. If you've taken at least 2 of these tests, type in the number 2. If you've taken 3 or more, type in 3+ in the comment thread. We'll just kind of get a sense for us here in this community right now. So the first test is the Myers-Briggs personality test. So the MBTI, Myers-Briggs Type Indicator Test. So MBTI, are you, INTJ or ENTP, or what is your Myers-Briggs, your MBTI test? So that's test number 1. Test number 2, the Kolbe assessment. Have you ever taken the Kolbe assessment to find out if you're quick start or high and follow through, or what your Kolbe assessment score is? What about the Enneagram? Are you type 1? Are you type 3? Are you type 9, type 5? If you've taken the Enneagram. What about the DISC assessment? Are you high D, high C? What's your DISC assessment? What about the StrengthsFinder test? What's your signature strength? Is it focus? Is it futuristic? Is it intellection? What's your signature strength? What about Roger Hamilton's wealth dynamics profile? What's your wealth dynamics type? Or my good friend Sally Hogshead's fascination profile. I could go on and on and on with these tests, but my question for you is, if you've taken at least one of those tests before, type in the number 1. If you've taken at least 2 of those tests before, type in the number 2 in the comments. And if you've taken at least 3 or more of those tests, type 3+ to let me know how many you've taken. And the point of that is this. Whenever I speak in front of live audiences in a live room, in a live event environment, I'll put a whole bunch of these examples on the board in front of me. And I'll say, raise your hand if you've taken at least one of these. And inevitably, everybody in the room will raise their hand. And I'll say, keep your hand up if you've taken at least 2, at least 3, 4, 5. I'll say, pause for a minute. Look around the room. Everyone looks around the room. And inevitably, 85 to 90% of the room has their hand still up, having taken 5 or more of these tests. And the reason for that is this promise of self-discovery, the promise to teach someone something about themselves, to learn more about who I am and which one is right for me, not just generically, but which one's right for me, is an irresistible promise. And it's one that you can use no matter what type of market you're in. So that's the first psychological force. The second psychological force, I'll just highlight this here, go like this. Whoops. Let's make that work. Good. Second psychological force is the power of micro commitments. What's a micro commitment? Okay. I'll explain what a micro commitment is. When I was at Brown and I was studying neuroscience, I became obsessed with the psychology of fear. And I was studying the psychology of fear, and I studied the work of a gentleman by the name of Dr. Robert Maurer. And I learned a lot about the psychology of fear. Now, whenever you ask anybody to do anything at all, whether that thing is a positive thing or a negative thing, the person's brain perceives that request, that ask, as a threat. You actually fire off the warning bells in an area of the brain known as the limbic system, specifically the amygdala. And inside the structure of the brain is where we house our fight or flight response. We've all heard of that, right? The fight or flight response. Well, what I learned in studying the psychology of fear is that you can actually hack this response. That's right. You can actually hack the fear response in anybody's brain, including your own brain. And the way you do that is very simply. You shrink the size of the step you're asking that person to take to be so small it's literally impossible to fail and nearly imperceptible. In other words, you're asking someone to take a step that's so small, it's literally impossible to fail. All right, so that's the underlying psychology, that's the science. How does this translate to an online environment, and what does this have to do with building a quiz funnel? Well, it has to do with everything. You see, when you ask someone to land on your website to do anything at all, whether that's buy your product, opt in for your email list, sign up for your newsletter, whatever it may be, that person's brain perceives that step as a threat. But the secret to hacking that response, instead of getting that person to flee, which is bounce from your website and leave, is to shrink the size of the step that it's so small it's almost impossible to fail. And we do that using the power of micro commitments. So instead of when someone lands on your website asking for their name, their email, or to buy your product, you begin by asking a simple, non-threatening, multiple choice question. Are you left-handed or right-handed? Are you starting an existing business or growing a new business? And by simply starting with that easy to answer, non-threatening multiple choice question, you create what's called action-taking momentum. People dip their toe in the water, and then they dip their ankle, and then their leg, and then their whole body, and before you know it, they're in the swimming pool with you, and they've become your paying customer. Because you're easing people into your world in a simple, non-threatening way, as opposed to buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. You're bringing them in a low-risk, low-threshold way that flies underneath the radar of that fear response in people's brains. Does that make sense? Checking in with you. Does that make sense so far? In the comment thread, let me know. Say, Ryan, that makes perfect sense. Say, yes, I got it. If there's a light bulb moment that's happening, let me know with light bulbs. Let me know in the comment thread if this is all making sense to you so far. Yes? Thumbs up? Yeah? Cool. Let's take a look at what we've got so far. A chance to take a sip of water. And yes, a whole bunch of us taking, great. Cool, a whole bunch of us taking all these tests. I love it. Love it. You guys, I have to say, you are an amazing group. I love the level of engagement. I love the energy that you've got right now. I love the focus. I love the commitment and being here right now. This is great. I absolutely love this. And if this is making sense, say, let me know. Yes, thumbs up makes sense. Awesome. Yes, thank you, Renee and John and Karen. Juhi, absolutely. Yes, this is great. Great, great, great. All right. So those are the first two psychological forces. That's going to take us to the next psychological force after this, which is force number 3, something that we call ADP. All right, what does that mean exactly? What does that stand for? ADP. What it means is this. It stands for attract, diagnose, and prescribe. You see, when you take someone through a quiz is incredibly effective because it is attractive. It offers the promise of self-discovery, and that's one component of it. But even more important than that is a quiz allows you to diagnose and prescribe the right solution for a person. Attract, diagnose, prescribe. ADP. Now, much like a doctor, when you walk into the doctor's office, you're able to walk into a doctor's office and let's say, for example, you hurt your foot. What happens next? The doctor, what does she say? She says, come into my office and let me begin by asking you a few questions, right? And she says, tell me, well, first and foremost, which foot is it? Is it your left foot or is it your right foot? Oh, it's my right foot. Okay, tell me, is it a dull pain or is it a sharp pain? And you tell your doctor the answer. Does it hurt when I do this or when I do that? Does it hurt here or here? The doctor begins by asking a series of questions. And what happens after the doctor has asked you those questions? The doctor says, aha, I think I know what it is. You're on the edge of your seat, right? Like you're sitting there saying, like, I got to know the answer. Like, what is it? Like, what's wrong? What's causing this pain? You are on the edge of your seat in the same way when you take someone through a quiz funnel like this on your website, they are on the edge of their seat. When you do this well and you do this skillfully, attract, diagnose, and prescribe. What happens is you create this vodka Red Bull cocktail of two neurotransmitters in people's brains, the neurotransmitters of dopamine and norepinephrine. And it creates this sort of cocktail where people have a tremendous amount of curiosity and a tremendous amount of desire to find out the answer to their quiz. So you create this perfect storm where people are on the edge of their seat wanting to know the solution, and that sets you up perfectly for you to introduce your paid product or solution on the back of the quiz, which we'll be getting into in just a moment. So attract, diagnose, and prescribe. So we've got our 3 psychological forces. We've got our 5 reasons why quizzes work. We've talked about what a quiz funnel is. We've talked about why quiz funnels make sense. We've talked about why they work so well. Now, the next question that you want to ask is a quiz funnel right for you? You might be saying, well, does this make sense for me? Is a quiz funnel right for me? Well, the answer is there are 5 ways to know if a quiz funnel is right for you and your niche. So 5 ways to know a quiz funnel is right for you and your niche, beginning with these 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. The first question that you want to ask yourself is, do you sell multiple products? Or could you sell multiple products in your niche? So in other words, do you sell multiple products, or could you sell multiple products in your niche? Now, the reason why you want to know the answer to this is if you sell multiple products, you can use what we call pure customization. What is that exactly? Pure customization basically means that when someone takes a quiz, you're using a quiz to recommend the right product or service for someone based on the answers to their quiz. So it's what we call pure customization. For example, if you're in the photography market, you might have a quiz, what type of camera is right for you? If you're trying to help people figure out which of your programs they should buy, which program is right for you? Should you buy this one or this one or this one? So if you sell multiple products, a quiz funnel can be a way to steer people into the right product for them. So that's what we call pure customization. It's in contrast to the next way to know if a quiz funnel is right for you, which is if you sell, or you could sell, one product, but you sell that one product to different types of people. So in other words, if you are in a market or a business where you could potentially sell the same product to different types of people, then a quiz funnel might be right for you. And the reason for that is because a quiz funnel allows you to do something that we call, I'm going to take the quotes, this off here, what we call perceived customization. So what is that exactly? Perceived customization is where you're repositioning the same product or service that you sell in different ways based on the person who's buying it. So in other words, you might have one course, one service, one book, one product that you sell, but you're talking about it in different ways based on the person's situation. So if you sell multiple products, a quiz funnel is right for you. If you sell one product that could help different types of people, a quiz funnel is for you. If you could sell multiple products or one product for different people, a quiz funnel is right for you. Now let's talk a little bit about the next way to know if a quiz funnel is right for you. Are you in a market where people have different, let's go back, people have different challenges? In other words, are you in a market where people run into different challenges related to the topic that you help people with? For example, in the orchid market, there are different challenges that people run into. Challenges like reblooming, getting your orchid to rebloom after the flowers have fallen off. Sip of my juice here to keep my sugar up. Repotting is a challenge. So helping people repot their orchid, saving a sick or dying orchid. These are different challenges in the orchid care market. And by identifying what challenge someone's running into, you can reposition your product to serve their specific situation. Another example of this, in the memory market, another market that I built a business in. There are different challenges that people run into. One of them is memorizing a script or biblical scripture for actors or preachers. Another challenge that people run into is preparing for a big, daunting test. So for someone who's going to medical school, looking to study for the MCATs, or law school and studying for the LSATs, these are big tests with tons of information that you need to memorize. So there's a ton of preparation. That's another challenge. A third challenge is someone who's going back to school. So someone who's been out of school for years, maybe they're going back to school later in life after being outside of the classroom for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. They're changing their career. It's sort of like, gosh, like I forgot how hard school can be. So those are different challenges that people run into in the memory market. And the key here is that you can connect the product or service that you sell to the challenge that you help people with. So if you're in a market where people have different challenges, a quiz funnel could be right for you. Next up is if you help people in your market who are in different situations. What do I mean by that? Let's say, for example, if you are in a market where you help different types of people who are in different situations, like, for example, if you're in a B2B market and you sell to CEOs, but you also sell to HR directors, and you also sell to head of technology, each of those groups of people have different situations that present a different set of unique circumstances and challenges. Now, when you have someone in different situations, you might want to use a quiz funnel to put them in touch with the best case study, the best piece of content, the best resource, the best version of your sales message or webinar based on their situation. If you're in a B2C market, let's say, for example, you're in the parenting market, you might help parents, you might help teachers, you might help children, you might help grandparents. So if you're in a market, say the childhood education market, you have different people in different situations that you want to communicate with differently. So if you're in a market where you have people with different situations, that's another yes for a quiz funnel. And last and finally, fifth and finally here, if you help people who are at different places in a journey. In other words, do you help people who are beginners, as well as people who are experts, as well as people who are somewhere in between? If you help people who are the equivalent of a white belt, martial arts, white belt, yellow belt, blue belt, black belt, different stages of a journey. If you're in a relationship market and you help people who are single, people who are dating, people who are engaged, people who are married, these are all examples of steps or places in a journey to success. A quiz funnel is a great way to help identify where someone is in that journey so you can ultimately sell the best product, present them with the right resource, the right next step for them based on where they are right now, whether they're a beginner, they're an expert, or they're somewhere in between. So the thing that you want to look at is in this sort of 5 ways to know framework that we have right now is, do you check off any of these boxes? Or more appropriately, how many of these boxes do you check off? So do you sell or could you sell multiple products? Yes or no? Do you sell one product or could you sell one product that helps different types of people? Yes or no? Do people in your market have different challenges that they're running into? Yes or no? Do people in your market fall into different situations based on their situation? Yes or no? And last but not least, do people in your market fall into different stages in the journey, a journey to success? And if you say yes to any of these options, then a quiz funnel is absolutely a good fit for you and your business. Now, there's another way to look at this to help determine your sort of a quiz funnel potential in your business, and that is to identify what type of business that you're in. So we'll play a little game with this. as we go through this. And there's 6 types of businesses. 6 types of businesses for whom a quiz funnel makes a lot of sense. So 6 types of businesses. 6 types of businesses. And we'll go through each of these one by one. And again, what I'm going to encourage you to do is as we go through this to identify which bucket you fall into yourself as you're going through this process. So the first type of business, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. 6 types of businesses. First type of business is what we call an, let's see, put this here. First type of business is an, sorry, I'm a type 1 diabetic, and sometimes my insulin pump just will not stop running here, and it's going off like crazy. And so I just need to take a quick sip of something sweet here so Ryan doesn't pass out on this live training right now. This is what happens when it's rocking and rolling. So just bear with me 1 second. It's a great opportunity for you to consolidate your notes, take a sip of something yourself. And as we do that, give me a second to just kind of catch my breath. Let me know so far of everything that we've covered, what's been your single biggest takeaway of everything that we've covered so far in the training. Do me a favor in the comment thread. Let me know what's been your single biggest takeaway so far. You can use the word takeaway in all caps, and post it inside the comment thread. And let me know what's been your single biggest takeaway of everything that we've covered so far. If you're taking notes and following along right now, great. Okay, great. So I love this. Gary says yes to at least 2. Ann says yes, all of them, all 5. Yes, this is awesome. Okay, this is great. Great, great, great. Love it. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Loving the takeaways. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Great. Cool. All right. 6 types of businesses. Business type number 1 is an e-commerce business. So e-commerce business means that you're selling something online, oftentimes a physical good. That could be a book, it could be something in the health space, it could be general e-commerce, basically anything that you might be selling online. The next type of business is a digital product business. And this includes everything from selling courses, membership, software as a service, basically any sort of digital product that you might sell online. The next type is if you are not maybe selling your own product, you're selling somebody else's product in the form of affiliate marketing. And affiliate marketing, what I mean by that is whether you're selling either something, I've got something here, yeah. If you're selling somebody else's product, either a digital product, a physical product, whether it's digital or physical, any sort of affiliate marketing. The next type is, and by the way, there's no better way to decide what type of affiliate product to sell someone than to do so through a quiz funnel. Next is getting clients. Getting clients. All right, so if you are trying to generate high ticket sales, whether it's for coaching, consulting, if you are an agency or a freelancer, getting clients. Next is if you are a local business. If you are a local business. In other words, if you are a local brick and mortar business and you're looking to get more people to come into your storefront, or you are a services-based business, whether you are a lawyer or an accountant or a plumber or any type of service business that you serve a local geographic area, quiz funnel is an incredibly powerful way to get more clients. And I'm going to be sharing examples, by the way, of each of these here in just a moment. And last but not least, if you're just in the lead generation business, you're looking to just generate leads, maybe you're looking to build your email list, you're looking to get more people onto your audience, you are in luck. This is a strategy that you can use. So basically, if you're in any sort of business where you are generating leads and or customers online, leads and or customers online in any of these categories that I've outlined here, you are in luck because this is a strategy that you can use for yourself in your business. Use this one here. Cool. So you can see it right there. There we go. Good. So 6 types of businesses. Now, remember that PDF that I mentioned to download at the beginning of this training, the PDF that's on that page, on this page right now? What I want to do now is I want to walk you through what this looks like in real life. So I mentioned that we're going to be sharing dozens of different examples of quiz funnels in action in all sorts of different markets. Well, that begins right now. So we've kind of talked a little bit about the theory. We've talked a little bit about what types of businesses that can use this. What I want to do now is, if you bear with me one second, and what I'd like to do now is take us through let's see, I'll have to do this like this. Take us through the resource, and if you haven't done so already, now's a good time to make sure that you've downloaded that resource on this page. And it's going to look like this when you download it. It's going to say the quiz funnel template swipe file. What I'd like to do now is I'd like to go through each type, and I'm going to invite you to engage in the comment thread when I go through and I hit kind of the type of business that best sort of matches for you. So I mentioned that if you're selling an e-commerce product, this is what a quiz funnel looks like in an e-commerce example. Like, for example, if you're selling a book. Who's selling e-commerce? Just type in e-commerce in the comment thread. Just kind of let me know who's here. So this is an example of a book funnel. Take the quiz to sell this book. You can see here is a canvas where we have a welcome page, a series of questions that people are asked, followed by one of several landing pages that we drive people into, and then a customized outcome page. In this case, we're selling everybody the same product, which is a book. I'll give you another example. This is in the photography space. So looking for a digital camera, but bamboozled to figure out which one to buy? Take the quiz to figure out what type of camera is right for you. So this is an example of a quiz funnel in the e-commerce space. And once again, here we land on a landing page to attract, diagnose, and prescribe. There's that formula there again. In this case here, we're recommending one of 4 possible options based on which bucket someone lands in. Who is in a digital product space? So if you're selling a digital product, whether it's a course or a membership or some sort of digital product, this is a quiz funnel template for a course. In this case here, a Facebook ad course. What's your #1 online advertising mistake? Take the quiz now. You can see here what the page looks like. Take people through a series of questions to figure out what advertising mistake you're making, all of which designed to sell this course. I'll give you another example. Who's selling a membership? Who's got a membership that you're looking to sell? Type in the word membership in the comments on the page. If you're selling a membership, you can see here's an example. What's your online advertising blind spot to sell this particular membership? Start the quiz. Once again, you can see here a series of questions designed to put people into this case one product, the membership. This is the power of perceived customization in action. What about SaaS? Anyone here selling SaaS, software as a service? If you've got a SaaS product, type in the word SaaS in the comments. Here's an example of a quiz funnel to sell SaaS. Now, whether you're looking to drive people into a free trial or you're looking to drive people into a demo for your software, in this case here, the #1 reason your online ads are not working, take the quiz, and this is for a Facebook results tracker app. Start the quiz. You can see here a series of questions designed to put people into one of several outcomes. Now, in this case, you can use what's called real-time lead scoring. What's that? Let's say, for example, you are in a software business or any business. In this case here, we'll take software, and you want to send your best leads into a one-on-one phone call with one of the salespeople on your team. Well, you can use a quiz funnel to do that. Maybe a lead that isn't quite as qualified, you send them to a webinar to watch a pre-recorded presentation, and maybe someone who isn't a fit for your product at all, you might just send them to a free resource, maybe an article on your blog, or maybe to another piece of software if yours isn't right for them in the form of an affiliate arrangement. Next up here, speaking of affiliate marketing, who's an affiliate marketer here? Type in affiliate inside the comment thread. You can see here, this is a quiz. What type of web hosting is right for you? Take the quiz to find out now. You can see here, Once again, series of questions. In this case here, we have 6 possible outcomes, 6 possible solutions that we're sending people to based on the answers to their questions. And this is a physical product affiliate marketing example. Let's say you are a podcaster, as an example, and you want to recommend and people keep asking you, what microphone are you using? What equipment are you using, right? So you can have a quiz, what microphone is best for your style and your budget? Take the quiz to find out now. Driving people to one of several microphones. Now, you don't have to create the microphone, you don't have to build the microphone, but you can recommend a microphone and make money based on that recommendation in the form of an affiliate relationship, as you can see here. Who's a coach? Where my coach is at? If you're a coach, let me know in the comments where my coach is at. Here's an example of a coaching quiz funnel. What's blocking you from creating your wealth? There are 5 wealth blockers that prevent 90% of people from achieving financial freedom. Take this free 5-minute quiz to find out your #1 wealth blocker. Start the quiz. So you can see here we've got a great page. We've got an example of client services coaching quiz. You can see here the questions that we ask, putting people into one of several buckets based on their answers. Who's a consultant? Where are my consultants at? If you are a consultant, you're in the consulting business, let me know in the comment thread. Who is a consultant? Let me know in the thread now. Here's a great example. What's your content creator type? You can see here, this is a quiz to figure out what your content creator type is to sell consulting services, along with the free report that they get. And you can see this example here. So again, same thing with the quiz canvas that takes people through a series of questions, followed by their outcome. What about agency freelancer? Anybody has an agency or freelancer? If you're looking to get more clients, get more leads for your agency or your freelancing business, here's a great example. This is what we call the online marketing scorecard quiz. And you can see here it's positioned as an assessment. And this is a great little tip. If you're in a B2B market, if you sell to other businesses, you can use the word assessment to describe your quiz funnel in a way that makes it feel a little bit more professional. But I want to remind you of something that's really important, and that's this. People hate taking surveys. They hate taking questionnaires, but they love taking quizzes and assessments. I'll say it again. People hate taking surveys, they hate taking questionnaires, but they love taking quizzes and assessments. So the way in which you position your quiz funnel is incredibly important. And we're going to talk a little bit more about coming up with the big idea and the angle behind your quiz funnel, as well as some of the biggest mistakes that people are making right now. I'm going to be covering the 5 biggest mistakes that people are making in just a moment once we get through these examples here. So if you're in an agency freelancer business, you can see here. And once again, here is our quiz canvas for this particular funnel. Who's in a local small business? Who has a local small business, a brick and mortar business where you are serving a local clientele? Let me know in the comments if you're in a local brick and mortar business. Here's an example of a quiz funnel for a gym. Take this free 5-minute quiz to find out what type of personal training is right for you. Take the quiz to find out now. This is for a local gym. You can see here, start the quiz. Based on the answers, it takes people through a series of questions, and they're put into one of several buckets to figure out what type of workout routine is right for you, right? What exercise routine is right for you to drive people to become members of this local gym. So it's a way to drive new local gym memberships. If you're a local business and you're in the professional services space, so you don't have a brick and mortar storefront, but you are in a you're in a services based business. Here's an example for a tax accountant. What's your tax rebate success score? How much of your eligible tax rebate are you actually getting? Take the quiz to find out now. So this is a perfect quiz if you're a local tax accountant to attract new clients as a CPA, as a certified public accountant. You can see here, again, a set of landing page, set of questions, put people into one of several buckets. And in this case here, we're trying to drive people to an appointment to get with this business. And for those of you who are in B2B, if you're in a B2B business, let me know in the comments with the word B2B. Let me know if you're in a B2B niche or industry. Here's an example. What type of business loan is right for you? Take this free 5-minute quiz to find out what type of business loan is right for you. Start the quiz. Again, similar story to what we're talking about here. And here's another example. In this case, let's say you're driving leads for a window repair or replacement company. How suitable are double glazed windows for your home? Take the quiz to find out now. So are double glazed windows right for you? Take the quiz. And in this case here, we're selling double glazed windows as a product to homeowners. And you can see here we've got our quiz canvas once again. Now, I know some of you are asking, this is awesome, Ryan, this is great, but like what software do you use to create these pages? What software do you use to create these quiz canvases that you've seen here? Well, stay tuned. I'm going to be sharing all of that and more over the course of this week here together through this live quiz funnel workshop, including what technology to use to build one of these high converting, highly profitable quiz funnels. So stay tuned for that. All right, so we've gone through kind of the 6 types of businesses: e-commerce, digital products, affiliate marketing, getting clients, local businesses, and even if you're just looking to build your audience and generate leads. What I'd like to talk about now are the 5 big outcomes, the 5 big things that you can drive people to after your quiz. So a quiz, you can think about it as a way to turbocharge or supercharge the goal, the outcome that you're looking to achieve in your business. And there are 5 big outcomes, and that's what we're going to cover next. 5 big outcomes that you can use for driving people into your quiz. And I'm going to go through these one by one, if I can get the right pen selected here, one by one. So, number 1, number 2, 3, number 4, and number 5. Cool. All right, 4, so 5. All right, so the first big outcome that you can use a quiz for is to get people to join your list, your group, or your community. So if you're looking to just drive more leads into your business, to build your audience, to build your Facebook group, to build your community, to build your audience, to get more listeners to your podcast, to get more readers of your blog, to grow your following in any way, shape, or form, a quiz is arguably the single most effective way to do that, to get more people joining your community, building your list, building your audience, building your group, building your following. So that's outcome number 1. Big outcome number 2 is as follows. Getting more people to buy your product. Now, the type of quiz funnel that we're talking about here is not one of those time-wasting quizzes that you may have seen. We've all taken them before, right? Like, what type of pizza is your dog? Or what is your Disney character? Or what Lord of the Rings character are you? We're not talking about those time-wasting quizzes. This is not one of these quizzes that gets a bunch of people to click on it, take it, and then disappear forever. Those quizzes attract a bunch of freebie seekers. The strategy that we're talking about here today and in this quiz funnel workshop is a strategy that's designed to convert clicks into customers. It's a very specific strategy. It's nuanced. The devil is in the details to get this working. Anybody can create an online quiz and get a bunch of people to click on it. That's the easy part. The hard part is creating a quiz that converts all that traffic into paying customers. And when you use this quiz funnel strategy, you can use it to get more people to buy your product immediately after taking the quiz. In other words, the quiz serves as the on-ramp to become paying customers of your business. So that's number 2. Number 3 is to watch your sales video. So if you have a sales video or a video that you want to get people to watch, one of the most effective ways to do that is to put a quiz in front of it. So watch your sales video, and I'm going to be showing you examples of all of these in action here in just a moment so you can see what this all looks like. So watch your sales video. Number 4 is to attend your webinar. So if you are selling via webinar and you want to get more people to watch your webinar, putting a quiz funnel on the front of it will get more webinar registrations. And as you saw a little bit earlier in the training, that you can, oops, I want to do this. You can often cut your cost per lead by 30 to 90%. So imagine if you can get webinar registrations for 90% less than what you're paying right now. What would that do for your business? For many people, it's transformative. And last but not least, here, book more appointments. So in other words, if your business is one where you get on the phone with people, or someone on your team gets on the phone with people, putting a quiz in front of your appointment booking flow is one of the most effective ways to drive up your volume. And there's an added benefit to that as well. And it's this. One of the most frustrating things if you sell high-ticket programs, or the way you sell is getting people on the phone, is what? Talking with unqualified prospects, right? It's like a huge waste of time. Well, you can use a quiz funnel to pre-qualify, to sift and sort in such a way that you're only ever going to talk to the right prospects who are ready to buy from you right now. You're never again going to waste time talking with someone who's not a fit for your offer, who doesn't have the budget to spend, who isn't a good fit for what it is that you're trying to sell. So a quiz funnel can be an incredibly effective way to sift and sort and filter people in the best possible direction based on their situation. So does that make sense so far? All right, so 5 big outcomes to grow your list, to buy your product, to watch your sales video, to attend a webinar, or to book an appointment. We've got them right here. Let's take a look at some examples of this in action. If you just bear with me 1 second, take a look at this in action. All right, so first example here. This is the page that you drive people to after people have taken your quiz. So these are examples of these in action. Let's say, for example, you don't have any product to sell. You're just getting started. You're looking to build your audience from scratch. You want to build an audience of people who will be ready to buy your product when you make it available. Well, here's an example of a quiz funnel template where you're just taking people through the results only. You're just giving them their results, you're getting them on your list, and you're going from there. Here's another example. Let's say your goal is to get people to buy your product. Here is, you can see here what DSLR camera is right for you. The unique answer is the upgrader. Here's what that means. You're recommending the right camera for them and maybe some alternative cameras based on their situation. So if you're in a business where you're selling multiple products and you're trying to recommend which one's right for them, you can get people to buy the right product directly after taking the quiz. Let's say you want people to watch your sales video for whatever you might be selling, and you want to drive people to either a long-form sales letter or a short-form sales letter. Here's an example of this in action. What's your #1 weight loss accelerator? Your unique result is what we call TPD. Here's what that means. Taking people into the sales video for your paid offer. You can see an example of this in action. Another example, let's say you want to get people to register for your webinar. What's your #1 wealth blocker? Negative assumptions. Here's what that means. Good news is this. I'm going to be hosting a webinar on this very topic, and I'd love to invite you to join the webinar by clicking the button below now. So taking people to join the webinar. What about booking an appointment? This is our gym again. What personal training type is right for you? You need a cardio coach. Let us connect you with the best coach for you. In fact, we'd love to invite you to book an appointment to talk with a personal trainer to discuss your specific fitness goals and challenges, and head on over to our gym and schedule an appointment for a free consultation. Book your session now. So if you're looking to book more appointments, there is an example in action. So out of curiosity, based on where we are right now, I'm curious, which of these is sort of resonating most with you right now? Are you looking to build your list? Are you looking to get more appointments? Are you looking to have people buy more products? Are you looking to get people to more people to watch your sales video, more people to watch your webinar? Which of these is resonating most with you? Are you saying like all of the above? I want to build my list. I want more people to buy my product. I want to get more people getting on the phone with me. Let me know in the comments here. And what I'd love to do is share some case studies of people who are using these strategies one by one in all sorts of different markets to have results. So in the comments, let me know your biggest goal, your biggest outcome that you're looking to achieve. Let me know in the comments. Awesome. Build my list, product, all the above. This makes perfect sense. Awesome. This is great. Great, 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 great. Love it, love it, love it. Great. All the above. Build this, get people to buy. Buy more appointments. Build my list, buy my product, join my list, buy my products. I love it. Great. Love it, love it, love it. Awesome. So we've got a great mix here. This is exciting. This is really great. So let me show a few examples. Now, our work here today is really to set the stage for the work that we're going to be doing over the next couple days together. And what I want to do now is I want to walk you through some successful examples of quiz funnels in action from real people like you and me. And this is really to help kind of inspire you and give you ideas for what your quiz might be about. That's going to help us set the stage for our work in session 2, where we're going to come up with the big idea for your quiz. That's right. We're actually going to go through the process of coming up with the big idea for your quiz step by step. And everything we're doing here today is sort of foundational work to get us prepared for that very first step. Now, I'd like to share some examples of successful quizzes in all sorts of different markets. Again, inspire you and show you what success looks like. So when we get to creating your quiz, you've got some ideas that are based on and built on previously successful examples. So let's check it out. I mentioned to you Mastin Kipp. Mastin, again, was the gentleman who's in the personal development space, who's looking to sell his book, in this case, Claim Your Power. And he was paying $6 a lead before using a quiz funnel, and he's been able to cut his cost per lead down from $6 to 76 cents. So let's take a look at what his quiz funnel looks like in action. So you can see here, this is his actual quiz funnel. You can see he's got a welcome, a landing page, and he has a what is your nervous system survival type? What's your nervous system survival type quiz? He then drives people into answering a series of questions, followed by lead capture, and then takes people to a customized outcome page with a customized video, giving people their results and encouraging them to buy his book, Claim Your Power. Let's take a look at another example. I mentioned Buck Rizvi. Buck is the gentleman who launched an e-commerce business selling health products, who now makes $12 million a year, $7,000 a day from just one quiz funnel. And you can see his quiz funnel in action right here. You can see he's got a welcome page, a landing page that takes people through a series of questions to help identify what is your weight loss type. Are you type I, type G, type A, or type C? And based on the results, he takes you to a sales letter that explains what those results are and recommends the right weight loss supplement for you. Attract, diagnose, prescribe. Let's take another example. This one is Snack Nation. Remember I mentioned that Snack Nation, the e-commerce company that went to $24 million a year and landed on the Inc. 500 list of the fastest growing companies in America on the back of a quiz that tripled their revenue? Well, here's the Snack Nation quiz. You can see here, welcome page, take the quiz to find out what type of snacks are right for you, answering a series of questions, and a customized outcome page based on your results. Another example, this is Charlie. He went from sleeping on a couch to making $2.2 million a year. So Charlie's story is incredible. He was a musician, wanted to pursue his dream of traveling the world with his bandmates and performing around the world. And he didn't have any money to do so. So he launched an online business to pursue his passion, launches a business, is struggling, decides to launch a quiz funnel with my help, and generated $2.2 million a year using this quiz funnel that you see right here, which is your #1 guitar progress killer quiz. So you can see here he's got a welcome page or post, takes people to a series of questions, and then a customized outcome page with a video to sell his product. And for those of you doing a launch, if you're saying, gosh, I've got a launch coming up, I'd love to just build my audience for an upcoming launch. Maybe you're launching a new business, a new product. You're looking to build up a pre-launch. This is Amy. Amy Porterfield, as I mentioned to you, created a quiz. What type of course should you create for your business? She had her most successful online course launch ever on the back of this quiz, over $5 million. And you can see this quiz in action right here. Attract, diagnose, and prescribe. Another example, this is Michael Hyatt. $203,000 a month in sales on the back of this assessment. You can see here the platform assessment. Take this assessment to figure out what stage of growth your online platform is in just a few short questions. Takes people from his welcome page to a series of questions that drives them to a customized webinar page to watch his webinar selling a multi-$100 product. You can see here digital products for those of you who are in affiliate marketing. I mentioned the Revolution Golf Swing Killer quiz. You can see that quiz right here. Welcome page, series of questions, customized outcome page. This one here, I mentioned Mark Stockman, 103,000 leads a day. Affiliate marketers generated over $1.5 million a month in sales. They became the #1 affiliate for one of the single biggest health companies in the world on the back of this quiz. What's your metabolic type quiz? We've got a welcome landing page, series of questions, and a lead capture at the end, customized outcome pages here. For those of you selling a high-ticket product, I love this one. This is Morgan Gist McDonald. This is her publishing path quiz. So Morgan is in the publishing business, and she helps people, aspiring authors, get their book published. So she created something called the Publishing Path Quiz. There's more than one path. There's more than one right way to publish your book. Should you go with a traditional publisher, self-publish? Should you do a hybrid? Should you do an audiobook, ebook, digital only, physical book? All these questions, all these decisions that you need to make. And she created a quiz, take the Publishing Path Quiz. And what's crazy is that she sells a $15,000 high-ticket product directly after someone takes the quiz. So she takes people from not knowing who she is to becoming a high-ticket client directly on the back of her quiz funnel. You can see an example of this quiz funnel in action right here. Consulting business. This is Deirdre Fay. Deirdre is a relationship expert. She's a therapist, and you can check her quiz out where she generated over 39,000 leads as a therapist. And you can see her quiz, what is your relationship profile? You can see here, landing page takes you through the series of questions and lead capture, customized outcome pages. She has a 200% ROI on cold traffic, so 200% return on her investment. She's grown her audience by over 10 times. And you can see here, for every $1 she invests in advertising, she makes $2 in return on the back of this quiz funnel right here. For those of you who are in the agency business, if you do marketing for other people, here's an example of a digital marketing agency called Powered by Search. This is Dev Basu and his team who landed at the #1 SEO digital ad agency in Toronto on the back of this quiz funnel that you see right here. They grew by over 150% through this quiz, the Digital Readiness Assessment, where they drive people into a discovery call for a $5,000 plus agency package on the back of this quiz. So if you're looking to get more high-end clients, if you're an agency or a freelancer, here's an example of this in action. You can see here, welcome page, lead capture page, customized outcome pages as well. If you're a brick and mortar business, this is Greg Crawford. You can see here, Greg created a quiz that he generates over $11,000 a month in monthly gym revenue for his gym. You can see here, take the quiz here. One quiz, one ad. You can see here, $1,000 in ad spend, $23,000 a month in sales. That's a pretty good ROI. Here's another example, real estate agent. So this is Mitch Wilder. He has a quiz that he created for a local real estate agency, and it's to determine what type of home is right for you. What's your dream home? So take the quiz to find out now. He spent $1,500 in ads and made over $50,000 in sales commission directly on the back of this quiz that you see here. I mentioned Loan Builder. Increase the value of your company. Create an asset that's not just something that will pay you today, but will create an asset that you could eventually sell for potentially millions of dollars. You can see here, created something called Loan Builder. It was acquired by PayPal. It's now a PayPal service. A little company called Swift Financial, acquired by PayPal for over $183 million on the back of this quiz. I mentioned if you're looking to build your list, there's no better way to do that than on the back of a quiz funnel. Check it out. You can see here, this is Luis and his wife Gabby, over 1 million email subscribers in less than 10 days on the back of this quiz funnel that you see right here, which is in Spanish, but translates to the parental style quiz. right here. So hopefully that gets you excited about some of the possibilities for you and your business and all the different examples that exist right here. But before we go any further, we need to cover something important, and that's this. You might be wondering, how is it that so many people that you've heard about are getting results like this? And why don't more people get results like this? Well, it comes down to 5 big mistakes. 5 mistakes that hold people back from getting results like this. And what I want to do now is I want to cover what each of those 5 big mistakes are, and it's going to set the stage for the work that we do in the next session together in this week-long quiz funnel workshop. So let's cover each of these 5 big mistakes one by one, beginning with mistake number 1. So if we go to our notes and we start here, we'll go to our 5 big mistakes that hold people back from getting the results like the ones that you've seen here today. So 5 big mistakes. I'll take them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 big mistakes. Beginning with mistake number 1, which is the wrong hook. All right. What do I mean by hook exactly? Well, by hook, what I'm talking about is the big idea behind your quiz. You see, when you have the wrong hook, the wrong topic, the wrong big idea for your quiz, you attract the wrong type of person. The wrong hook, the wrong type of person. Now, inevitably, when I talk about quizzes and the results that people are getting, people always say one of 2 things. Gosh, they either say, gosh, that's so easy, I can do that, and they don't realize kind of all the nuance and the secret behind all of this. Or they say, gosh, that's so hard, I don't even know where to begin. Or they say, I've tried a quiz before, and I didn't get results like this. What did I do wrong? Well, here's the thing. When you have the wrong hook, the wrong big idea behind your quiz, you're going to attract the wrong type of person. And this is one of the reasons why so many quizzes attract a bunch of freebie seekers, a bunch of people who take the quiz, click on the quiz, but don't ever buy anything on the back end. So you've got to have the right type of hook. Now, when it comes to the right hook, there are only 3 types of hooks that make sense, what we call 3 quiz frameworks. And you're going to want to write these down. Framework number 1 is what we call a type quiz. Now, a type quiz is a quiz where you're putting people into one of several buckets based on their type, based on their unique situation. The second type of quiz is what we call a killer quiz. A killer quiz is one where you help people identify the mistake they're making in their life that's holding them back from getting the result that you help them with in their business. What's holding them back from experiencing the transformation that you help people achieve in their life? So that's framework number 2, a mistakes framework. And mistake number 3 is what we call a score framework. A score framework is one where you help people identify based on where they are right now and the gap between where they want to go. So if they want to be here, but they're here, you're pointing out the gap and doing so by helping people identify their score. Now, we're going to be covering each of these quiz frameworks in more detail in session 2 in this quiz funnel workshop. But for now, I kind of want to set the stage and start getting your mind thinking about which of these quiz frameworks might be right for you and your business. So that's mistake number 1, the wrong hook. And it takes us to mistake number 2, which is the wrong questions. When you ask the wrong questions in your quiz, you're not going to get the result that you're looking for. Now, when it comes to coming up with the right questions, there are a few things that you want to keep in mind and a few goals that you're looking to accomplish in your quiz. Number 1, write this down. Number 1, you're looking to diagnose a person's situation. So you're using the quiz questions to diagnose a person's situation. That's purpose number 1. But purpose number 2 is you're looking to ask a specific set of questions that not only diagnoses their situation, but also creates desire and demand for your product or service. Much in the same way, if you've ever had a conversation with a skilled salesperson will ask you questions that inevitably makes you want to buy the thing you're thinking about buying even more. And so a quiz needs to serve simultaneously these two purposes: asking questions to diagnose a person's situation, but then also creating desire and demand in a person's brain to want to buy the product or service that you're going to be selling after they take the quiz. Now, there are a few best practices that you want to keep in mind when it comes to coming up with your questions for your quiz. So number one, there's a number of questions. Like, what's the right number of questions that you should be asking? Well, there's a sweet spot that you want to aim for. Now remember, because we have a software platform that's used by over 30 million people with over 200 million data points every single year, we have access to a tremendous amount of data. I would argue that we have more data on what makes an effective, high-converting quiz funnel than any other company, any other platform in the world, because this is what we do all day, every day. And we've analyzed the most successful quiz funnels, the ones that perform better than anything else. What we found is that there's a sweet spot. There's a sweet spot in terms of the number of questions that you want to be asking in your quiz. And you might want to write this down. The sweet spot is between 5 and 12 questions. What's the reason for that? Well, if you think about it, there's a reason why you've got to ask for enough information. Imagine you walk into the doctor's office, using that example we used a few minutes ago. You walk into the doctor's office, you say, "Doc, my foot hurts," and she says, "Is it your left foot or your right foot?" And you say, "It's my left foot." And she says, "Got it, I know exactly what's wrong." You're like, wait, that's not enough information. Like, how can you possibly know what's wrong with my foot? So you've got to ask enough questions so that, number one, you can accurately diagnose a person's situation. Number two, create the perception that you've asked for enough information. Even if you can diagnose someone by asking one question, it's not enough for someone to actually believe your diagnosis. You need to demonstrate both your empathy and understanding for a person's situation, and we do this by asking questions. So you've got to ask enough, and 5 is the minimum. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, we got to remember that this is a marketing quiz. We're not diagnosing whether or not someone has cancer or life-threatening illness. We're trying to figure out what product or service we should sell and how to position it based on a person's answers. So we don't want to ask 100 or 200 questions. That's just way too much. Someone taking your quiz funnel on their phone is not going to sit through the process of answering 100 or 200 questions. There's a sweet spot. And the upper end is about 12 questions. So you want to be somewhere in that sweet spot, somewhere between 5 and 12 questions. Now, there's a lot of nuance between question sequencing and which questions you ask first, and things like branching and skipping. But there are a few best practices that you want to keep in mind. Question number 1, your first question should almost always be what we call a grease the wheels question. This is an easy to answer question that taps into the power of micro commitments. Remember those? We talked about the power of micro commitments. You want to ask a simple, non-threatening question to create action-taking momentum, to encourage people to dip their toe in the water and begin going through the process of answering each subsequent question. At the end of the survey, the end of the quiz, we always want to end with our lead capture step, the step where we're asking for a person's contact information. Now, for you, that might be email, might be name and email, might be name, phone, and email. You might just need one of those pieces of information, or maybe you don't even need a person's contact information. You just want to drive them straight to your product, or straight to your sales video, or straight to your webinar. You can do that as well. But these are a few best practices that you want to be thinking about when it comes to your questions, because it's one of the 5 biggest mistakes that people make is asking the wrong questions. And that takes us to mistake number 3, which is, the wrong offer. Okay, the wrong offer. When it comes to being successful with a quiz funnel, you've got to position your offer in a very specific way. And the way you do that is by using a strategy, a technique that's called Band-Aid cure. What does that mean exactly? Well, if you've got small children, I've got small kids, I got 2 young boys, so I'm always thinking of like parenting situations. But if you've got small kids, or you had small kids years ago, or you've got friends with small kids, I want you to imagine for a moment that you are watching the child, and the child's outside riding his or her bike. He's riding his bike, going round and round in circles, riding his bike, going round and round in circles, falls off his bike, runs inside, and what does the child say? The child says, Mommy, I need a Band-Aid, right? And so what do? Well, as the adult, as the parent, most of us kind of get down on one knee and we say, all right, honey, once the tears go away, we put a Band-Aid on the, bloody knee. And once the pain starts to subside and the tears go away, we say, all right, honey, if you really want to feel better, I know we put a Band-Aid on it, but if you really want to feel better, we need to put some ice. We need to maybe put some ointment. Maybe we need a little bit of pain reliever to help the pain go away. But here's the thing. The kiddo is not walking around thinking that they need any of these solutions. The kiddo is walking around thinking that they need a Band-Aid. Well, your market is in a very similar place. You see, your market is not walking around right now dreaming about, thinking about your particular product or service. They're walking around thinking about, just like the kid, that they need a Band-Aid. They're saying, I need a Band-Aid, my knee hurts. But you as the expert, you know that if they really want to solve their underlying problem, if they really want to make that pain, that frustration, that struggle go away for good, what do they need? They need the cure. Band-Aid, cure. So how does this relate to a quiz funnel? Well, after someone takes your quiz, the free results that they get for taking the quiz is where you give them the Band-Aid, the free solution. But if they really want to solve the underlying problem and have the real solution to their problems, that's where the cure comes in, which is your paid product or service. Band-Aid, free results. Cure, paid product or solution. Does that make sense? This is an important concept, and it's one that if you're watching this live right now, I'm going to encourage you to go back and watch the replay in this specific section so you can really grasp what this is all about. Because it's one of the biggest mistakes people make when it comes to creating and building and launching a quiz funnel. And that takes us to the next big mistake on our list, which is the wrong process. What do I mean by that exactly? The wrong process. Well, when people create a quiz funnel, inevitably, their thinking is that they should create a quiz funnel that starts like this. All right, I get it, right? So I get people to, I start here, and then I get people to do a few things, and then I get people to buy my product, and I go in that order, right? And it makes sense. It makes logical sense. It's sort of like we're getting people to go up a staircase like this, in this direction here. But the problem is, when we do that, you build, potentially, a staircase that leads to nowhere. And someone walks to the edge of the staircase, there's nowhere for them to go. Instead, the reality is that you build a quiz funnel in reverse. You actually start with the end in mind. And you start from up here and begin with the end in mind, build a quiz funnel that takes some from here down here. In other words, you start with the end goal. Where are you taking people to? Where do you want them to land? It's one of the biggest reasons why when people build quiz funnels, they build a quiz that a bunch of people take, but doesn't lead to paying customers and clients. You actually have to start in reverse. You've got to build your staircase beginning with the product, with the end goal in mind, whether that's getting people to sign up for your list, buy your product, watch your sales video, attend your webinar, book a call, sign up for your launch, whatever it may be, and build the steps in reverse from that end goal. You've got to begin with the end in mind. And last but not least, the fifth and final mistake, mistake number 5 on our list right here, is using the wrong technology. What do I mean by that? Exactly. Wrong technology. I see people try to use tools like survey tools or a funnel builder or a form builder or one of those free online quiz creators. And inevitably, they fail. They try to hack something together and don't get the results that they're looking to achieve. And the reason for that simply is because every single one of those tools is the wrong tool for the wrong job. Sort of like this, like you could take your iPhone, you could take your phone right here and you could use it to bang a nail in a wall and use it as a hammer, but it's not the tool designed for the job. And it's no wonder that so many people struggle, so many people fail, so many people take a little bit of information, try to implement it, and don't have success because of this big mistake. Wrong tool for the wrong job. Now, the one thing that every single one of the examples that I've shared with you here today and in this workshop all have in common is that they all use the exact same piece of secret quiz technology to make it all possible. It's the exact same platform that every single example that you've heard me share, every single example in the download, every single example that you've heard me talk about inside the Facebook group, all using to get these results and more. So the question is this: what happens when you put it all together? What happens when you take everything that we've covered, all these mistakes that we've covered here today so far, and you put it all together? Well, I thought it'd be cool to take a look at a case study, an actual case study that addresses these questions. What happens when you've got the right process, you've got the right quiz hook, you've got the right questions, the right offer, the right technology? Well, let's take a look at this case study. Now, some of you may know that a little over a year ago, I launched a book called Choose. Now, the challenge in launching a book is that, if you're not aware, a book is arguably the single most competitive product category that exists online. It's arguably more difficult to have success with a book than almost anything else. So our team was faced with a tough proposition. We said, how are we going to succeed? How are we going to stand out? How are we going to get our book out there? Well, naturally, we said, what about a quiz funnel? So that's exactly what we did. We created a quiz funnel to sell this brand new product. You can see here, this is what this quiz funnel looks like in action. Take the quiz to find out what type of business to start. And we take people through the same steps that we've been talking about here today: attract, diagnose, and prescribe. And you can see an example of what that landing page looks like here. Now, we take people through a series of questions. Questions like, which of the following best describes you? Thinking about starting a new business or an existing business? Are you looking to champion a cause or pursue a new opportunity? Are you looking for freedom, impact, legacy, or all the above? Which of the following best describes you? And we ask a dozen questions that take people through a series of steps to identify what type of business you should start. In this case here, MBPF. What does that mean exactly? Well, enter your email address in the space below to get a custom report with your quiz results, plus a video explaining your results and what to do with that information here today. So we take people to a page that looks like this. Your result is MBPF. And by the way, there are 16 possible outcomes in this quiz. Now, we take people to a video, they watch that video, and this video is designed to encourage people to buy my book, Choose. So that's the concept. Simple, right? Well, let's take a look at the results. We launched this quiz, and you can see here, in just the last few months alone, we've had over 121,000 people opt into this quiz in 60 days. You can see here a 71% opt-in rate on cold traffic. And you can see here all the data that we have about every person who's taken this quiz. We know exactly how this market breaks down. And you can see the results. Again, not only better sell, but better serve. Taylor writes, this reflects exactly the type of business I envisioned. The video helped clear my vision on my final destination. So not only are you better selling, but you're also better serving your market. Let's take a look at some examples, some data here. You can see here, in 24 hours, this is just a one-day snapshot, we generated over 1,600 leads at a cost of just 43 cents per lead. And you can see here, over 51 purchases just on that same day. So that doesn't include any email follow-up, that doesn't include any upsells, just the people who took the quiz right then and there and bought. And the net effect is that this is profitable. Now, some numbers to help kind of get your mind around the potential of this. You can see here, We generated 1,663 leads. If you multiply that by 365 days, that's over the course of a year, 607,000 people signing up to our email list through this quiz alone, and customers, over 32,000 customers. Now you might be wondering, well, what is a list like this worth? So you're building this big, giant, massive email list, this big, giant audience of people that you can sell other products and services to. Well, let me show you an example of the power of having a list like this. So check it out. We did an affiliate promotion recently for a product called Tribe, and it's a product for building an online membership. And you can see here, we generated over 273 orders for this product, generating $547,000 in revenue, $219,000 in commission. Now, what's crazy is that this affiliate promotion was a contest, meaning that there were prizes for who came in first place. And you can see here this leaderboard. You can see our name, Ryan Levesque, beating out people like Russell Brunson, beating out people like Michael Hyatt, beating out people like Jeff Walker. We were able to beat everyone in this promotion on the back of this quiz funnel, and you can see here our results: $219,000 in commission, $100,000 in cash prizes, $319,000, and this is all profit, by the way, because when you sell other people's products as an affiliate, you have no cost of goods sold. This is all profit in just 5 days. Imagine that. Imagine having the ability to make over $300,000 in less than a week. So if we look at the total results, including all the books, all the upsells, and everything that we've sold through email follow-up in this quiz, we've generated over $1.2 million in revenue in less than 6 months. So, who wants a quiz that can explode your business overnight? Whether you're looking to launch a brand new business, take your existing business to the next level, who wants a quiz like that in your business? Well, I've got good news for you, and that's this. It all starts with something called the big idea behind your quiz. The big idea. And what I'm super excited about is that we are going to be covering how to come up with the big idea for your quiz in session number 2 in this workshop. The big idea for your quiz in session number 2. So, we're going to be covering the 3 types of quizzes and how to decide which type of quiz is right for you. We've already introduced them: type, killer, score, but how do you decide if you should use a type quiz, a killer quiz, or a score quiz? We're going to cover the deep psychology behind each one and how to decide which one is right for you based on your niche and the type of product that you're selling. We're going to go through actual live examples. You, yes you, are going to have the opportunity to have me help you live in the session come up with the big idea for your quiz. I'm going to go through dozens of examples of different markets and different products and different types of businesses and the types of quizzes that we came up with and how we arrived at those results. I'm even going to show you how to test your quiz idea, which you'll be able to do this week. Test your quiz idea in your market before building your quiz, before launching your quiz, before even creating your quiz, to know if your quiz idea is a winner before you've actually created it, and much, much more. Now, as far as next steps and where to go from here to prepare yourself for our second session together, friendly reminder, tomorrow I'm going to be going live inside the private Facebook group at the same time, and I'm going to be hosting a live Q&A session inside the group where you will have an opportunity to get your questions answered live. And so the place to do that, the way to get access to that, is inside the private Facebook group. Bear with me one second. Bear with me one second as I pull this up. All right, that's not what I want. I want to show you where to find this question thread inside the group. You're going to look for a post that looks like this inside the group. It says quiz questions. Post your quiz questions below and I'll answer them on tomorrow's Q&A call. So that call is happening tomorrow at 3 p.m. U.S. Central Time, 4 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. U.S. Pacific Time, 2 p.m. U.S. Mountain Time. So head on over to that group. Again, the link to get access to the group, if you haven't done so already, is to go to quizfunnel.com/Facebook. And the faster you get your question in, the better chance you're going to get it answered. So head on over to that group and make sure you post your question there if you've got something you'd like for me to cover. Second thing is this. Second thing is to make sure that you sign up for that secret text thread. And here's the reason why. When you sign up for that secret text thread, I'm going to hook you up. I'm going to send you a text message with my list of 101 profitable quiz ideas. These are ideas that you're going to be able to use to help brainstorm your quiz, to help brainstorm the big idea behind your quiz funnel in your business. You absolutely want to get access to it. And the way to get access to that is to head on to a link that is quizfunnel.com/text. That's quizfunnel.com/text. And by the way, when you go to that link, you're going to get all my notes from today. So if you want to get access, you pull it up on the screen. All my notes today, you're going to get access to all my notes. I'm going to send you my notes from every single day. Like you can see these right here. I'll send you my notes from each day's training by text. You just type in your country code and your phone number, hit send, and we'll hook you up with access to that. I'm also going to send you reminders of when the live sessions are, so you don't have to worry about remembering everything. So you want to go ahead and do that. That's thing number 2. Thing number 3, if you haven't done so already, bear with me one second, you also want to go through and take the funnel quiz. So the way you do that is by going to the link takethefunnelquiz.com. And that's going to give you an opportunity to experience a high-converting quiz funnel in action. So you can see what it's actually like to experience it, the results. You want to go through this. It's actually going to be a great value for you as well to figure out what type of funnel is right for you and your business. So if you haven't done so already, I highly encourage you to go ahead and check that out and take that as well. And the last thing to do before we wrap things up is on this screen right here, on the page we're on right now, I'd love to invite you to do something we do after every session, so just kind of get into the habit of this, and that is in the comments on this page to type in what is your biggest takeaway from today. So what's been your single biggest takeaway from all of today's training so far here that we've covered? So use the word takeaway in all caps. Post it in the comment thread on the right-hand side or below the video. Use the word takeaway and let me know what your single biggest takeaway is. Now, here's why this is important to do this. Taking a moment to type in your biggest takeaway helps consolidate the learning in your mind. What was the biggest aha moment? What was the biggest insight? What was the biggest light bulb moment that you walked away with from today's session that maybe has started to kind of ignite some ideas in your mind? Maybe it's kind of sparked a possibility that you've thought of. Take a moment to post your single biggest takeaway in the comment thread. It's going to help consolidate that learning in your mind. And as an added bonus, you'll be able to check everybody else's single biggest takeaway as well and learn from maybe something that you missed. Maybe you had to step away for a moment. Maybe you were distracted in the middle of the session. Maybe you missed something when you were taking notes. Take a moment to post your single biggest takeaway here on this page using the comment thread next to this video. Do that now. That's your kind of first homework assignment here today before we wrap things up with one final thing before we end. Single biggest takeaway. Post it in the comment thread on the right-hand side. Biggest takeaway. And I see Rose, takeaway 3 psychological forces. Jenny, too many to name, just one. Laura, created such excitement for me to build my quiz. I'm so excited. Miriam, the sweet spot on question numbers, micro commitments, and Band-Aid cure. The nuances matter with this. The 5 big mistakes, absolutely. I need to get going with quiz funnels to get great income going. 5 biggest mistakes. Takeaway can market to multiple demographics. Start with the end goal, benefits and mistakes, need to focus to move forward, backward mapping, start at the end first. So many great takeaways that are here. So if you haven't done so already, post your takeaway. And just to recap, 3 things that you want to do right now. So number 1, join the Facebook group. Go to quizfunnel.com/Facebook and make sure that you register for that live Q&A session. Again, all you need to do for that is head on over to the group. You'll see this post that looks like this. And by the way, inside the Facebook group, a great way to get notified of everything that's happening is to head on over to the events link on the left-hand side of the screen and just mark off going to every single one of these events, even if you're not sure if you are going to make it or not. By clicking on the Going tab that you see right here, Facebook will remind you when everything's happening and you won't miss a beat. Friendly reminder that the Q&A session tomorrow is happening inside the Facebook group, not here on this page. Inside the Facebook group. It's a bonus for being part of the community, so you've got to be inside if you're not already there. So remember that, same time, same channel, but inside the private Facebook group. Second thing that you want to do, quizfunnel.com/text. Remember, that's going to sign you up to the secret text thread to get access to my list of 101 profitable quiz ideas, which is going to help you for our next session and coming up with the quiz for your business. So that's the second thing that you want to do. And the third thing that you want to do is go to takethefunnelquiz.com to actually experience a live quiz funnel in action. Takethefunnelquiz.com, and that's going to take you there. So with that being said, I want to wish you a great rest of your day, a great rest of your evening, and to wrap things up today, I want to end with one final video to get you super excited about what we're going to be covering tomorrow, the next day, and the next day after that. So with that being said, let's take it away to our final clip of the day.
Here's the thing. I still don't know how to type. I don't know anything about technology. I couldn't download a song to my phone without my assistant's help. So if that's stopping you, believe me, if I can do that, you can do it.
You guys took me through that really tough initial period, which was really hard because I just didn't understand anything and I was so confused.
I have this thing that's been 10 years to make, but it's not reaching the people that we want to reach because we don't know how to market it.
We couldn't really get media of any kind to work at scale.
At that stage, it was more like I'm making a little extra side money on my hobby instead of really making it a business.
It takes a little bit of extra work on the upfront, but it's so worth it because once you survey your prospects and your customers and you really understand who they are, not only does the quiz funnel work, but you also really understand your customer.
To feel like you are actually listening to them
and you're
talking to them and serving them in such a profound way, it's amazing.
The marketing qualified leads are the highest value leads. That's how we measure it when we send it to the sales team. The control did 99, the quiz did 208. So essentially doubling the amount of leads coming in with the same amount of traffic.
And a year to date so far this year, with COVID hitting, I've made $110,915 year to date so far in 2020.
We had a launch in which we had 501,000 opt-ins. And that was, it's a record for the Hispanic market in any launch, in the whole space. And we're really proud of that. But this time we were not aiming to go that far.
No.
We actually did over 1 million opt-ins with a little less than half the investment that we did on that launch last year.
So we're seeing a 2.5x ROI. We're seeing about 17-cent opt-ins.
Whoa, time out. So you're getting email opt-ins, email subscribers for 17 cents.
Yeah, it varies, but it's 17 cents. And then like when we did it in the launch, it was about $1.10, right? But somewhere between 17 and $1.10, which by the way, pre-Ryan, I was excited about $6 opt-ins.